ex-wife he hasn't seen in years. Maggie arrives at the hospital, reclaiming her role as the primary decision-maker. The room fills with friction as she stands between Niall and his new life. While updating Maggie on Niall's deteriorating condition, Reynolds notices distinct red scratches on her hands, identical to the marks on Niall. He asks for the source. Maggie explains she keeps several African-grey parrots. The diagnosis shifts instantly. This is not mushroom poisoning, it is psittacosis, also known as parrot fever. Niall contracted a rare bacterial infection from the bird's dander during a secret meeting with his ex-wife. Reynolds switches the antibiotics. The lung inflammation recedes. A rare zoonotic disease is cured not through high-tech scans, but by observing the hands of a woman Niall tried to leave behind. Dr. Reynolds stops outside the hospital as a crowd gathers around a locked SUV. Inside, a 5-year-old boy sits motionless in the back seat. The windows are sealed, and the interior temperature has surpassed 107 degrees. Reynolds grabs a heavy-duty pen from a bystander and shatters the side window. He pulls the limp child from the heat and runs toward the emergency room. Inside the trauma bay, the situation is critical. The boy's core temperature is lethal. Reynolds orders a central line immediately. He pumps 15-degree saline directly into the boy's veins to force his internal temperature down. The child stops breathing. Reynolds performs a rapid intubation, forcing air into the lungs to prevent permanent brain damage. Every second is a calculation against organ failure. After the boy stabilizes, Reynolds finds a man in green scrubs sitting by the bed. This is the father. He is a fellow surgeon at the same hospital. He worked 6 consecutive surgeries in a double shift. In his exhaustion, he drove to the hospital instead of the school, leaving his sleeping son in the parking lot. The legal consequences are immediate. Social services arrive to investigate the endangerment. The father faces criminal charges and the loss of his medical license. Reynolds looks at his colleague, a man broken by the same system they both serve. When the investigator asks for a professional assessment, Reynolds doesn't call for punishment. He states it was a catastrophic error born of fatigue, not neglect. He officially recommends forgiveness, choosing to save a family after saving a life.
A patient in the emergency room snaps without warning. He lunges at a nurse, tackles her to the ground, and begins a violent assault. The medical team watches as the floor becomes a crime scene. To prevent further attacks, the hospital administration brings in the police. Armed officers now stand in the hallways, monitoring every movement. This decision immediately backfires. Minority doctors and nurses report a feeling of intense pressure. For them, the presence of the police is not a comfort, but a threat. They feel targeted and scrutinized while trying to perform their duties. The atmosphere turns hostile as the staff realizes they are being policed in their own workplace. The chief of medicine recognizes the strategy is failing. She removes the police officers from the building. To replace them, she hires professional nightclub bouncers who are out of work due to the pandemic. These men possess massive physical presence, but rely on de-escalation rather than force. They understand how to read a room and talk down an aggressive individual before a fight starts. When a patient begins to shout, a bouncer intervenes with calm, firm communication. He uses his body to create a barrier without reaching for a weapon. The tension in the ER evaporates. The medical staff regains their focus, feeling protected rather than watched. The bouncers prove that security comes from understanding human behavior, not just authority. By the end of the day, the hospital is secure and the staff is at peace.
Linus returns from summer camp, but his mother refuses to let him inside. She calls the police, claiming a stranger has stolen her son's identity and surgically altered his face to look like him. In the hospital, she stands inches away from the boy and tells the doctors he is an imposter. She feels no connection to the child she raised. Dr. Frome reviews the brain scans and finds small, localized lesions. He delivers a diagnosis of Capgras syndrome. Her brain can process his physical features, but the emotional link is severed. She sees her son's face, but her heart remains cold. The medical team confirms the damage is permanent and irreversible. There's no surgery to fix the broken connection, and medication will only stabilize her condition. Linus realizes his mother is gone while she is still standing right in front of him. To save the family from total collapse, Dr. Frome implements a deceptive strategy. He tells the mother that her biological son has passed away. He then introduces Linus as a stranger, a boy who has also just lost his mother. The mother, believing they share the same grief, finally lets him sit beside her. She offers comfort to the stranger, unaware she is touching her own child. They begin to build a new relationship based entirely on the lie. Linus accepts the role of a stranger just to remain in her life. He watches his mother grieve for him while he sits in the chair next to her, forever erased from her memory. Dr. Floyd Reynolds returns to New Amsterdam, expecting his former status as chair of cardiothoracic surgery. He walks to the surgical board and finds his name missing from every major case. When he asks for his office, he is told it no longer exists. There is no desk, no title, and no schedule waiting for him. A trauma patient arrives with a model rocket impaled in his chest, and Reynolds follows the team into the operating room as an unassigned assistant. During the procedure, he watches the lead surgeon prepare to close a diaphragmatic tear. Reynolds intervenes, suggesting a monofilament mattress suture to prevent the tissue from puckering. The lead surgeon stops and looks him in the eye. He tells Reynolds that he asked for a set of hands, not a second opinion. He delivers a direct ultimatum: follow his orders or leave the room. Reynolds stands silent under the surgical lights. He swallows his pride and agrees to stay on the surgeon's terms. Later, Reynolds meets the medical director on a quiet walkway. He does not demand his old position or his old salary. Instead, he lists the low-level tasks he is willing to perform: teaching interns and assisting in basic general surgeries. He acknowledges that this is a massive demotion. He admits he is at the bottom and simply needs a hand to start the climb back up. The two men shake hands. The former department head is now a subordinate, starting over from zero in the hallways he once commanded.
16-year-old Elisa Barkley arrives at the emergency room following a severe car accident. She is losing blood rapidly. Her mother, Anita, offers to donate on the spot to save her. The medical team runs a cross-match, but the results stop the procedure. The blood types are incompatible. Dr. Sharp informs Anita that, according to the data, she is not Elisa's biological mother. The revelation triggers an immediate crisis. Anita insists she gave birth to Elisa after 31 hours of labor, yet the evidence suggests a hospital mix-up or a secret adoption. From her hospital bed, Elisa confronts Anita. She points to their different skin tones and features, claiming she has always felt like an outsider. She demands to know where she actually belongs. Anita can offer no explanation, only the physical memory of her pregnancy. Dr. Sharp intervenes by ordering a tissue biopsy. The results uncover a rare condition known as chimerism. Anita carries two separate sets of DNA within her body. The doctor explains that while in the womb, Anita absorbed her fraternal twin sister. Anita's ovaries developed from that sister's genetic material. The biological truth is absolute. Elisa was born from Anita's body, but she grew from her unborn aunt's DNA. This explains the genetic mismatch that nearly tore them apart. The suspicion of a baby swap is replaced by a scientific miracle. Anita reaches for Elisa's hand. The physical differences that once caused doubt now serve as proof of a unique internal bond. They are more than mother and daughter. They are a biological rarity. Rose Castillo, an Asian factory worker, wakes up completely blind. Dr. Agnes Cao examines her and suspects chemical exposure from Rose's undocumented workplace. Rose admits to working off the books in a plastics factory. Cao prescribes verapamil, assuming a retinal vascular